Guess what, everybody? It is Talking Ish Friday yet again, and this is a special edition. We're all the way in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm here at Mystic by the Sea with the owner, and we're going to talk about a little bit about his store, who he is, because we want the Ish to know when you come in the U.S. Virgin Islands, you got to stop by Mystic by the Sea and get some of this beautiful, amazing stuff. Sir, introduce yourself to the I Got Ish family. Tell us who you are and tell us about your store.
All right. Well, my name is Thomas Ferguson. Everybody calls me TJ. And my wife and I, Cynthia Zeki, we started this store about 5 years ago.
Okay.
We moved down 6 years ago.
Wow.
We were blessed to have a friend of the family who had been friends for years and years and years with my wife. She was a resident of the USVI,
Okay.
but she got sick
Okay.
and she passed away. And in her will, she left us her house.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it was a beautiful, bittersweet gift.
Right.
But at the same time, we were living in Chicago at the time. And so we decided, oh, absolutely, and
Yes.
It is windy.
Yes, sir. I spent a couple of years in Chicago myself.
There.
Yes, sir.
And so we decided, that we would take this gift and do something special with it. And so that's why we moved down here and decided to open this store.
It's an amazing store. When I came in, your wife was telling us you use the local artists here to curate some of this great stuff that you have in your store.
Yeah, most everything in the store is actually handmade by local artists.
Okay.
All the artwork on the walls, many of the specialty items like the woodwork and some of the glassware. But then we also have other small things, soaps, oils, perfumes, things like that. We also carry an array of metaphysical type things like crystals and crystal bracelets. We have singing bowls, which are over there,
Okay.
and that helps people to meditate. We also have some books,
Okay.
and we try to, bring a little bit of education along with the things that we have.
So your experience here, you've been here 6 years now?
We've been in business 6 years. We moved to this location about 3 years ago.
But since you've been here from Chicago, what have it been like a custom, what kind of changes have you endured since being here?
Well,
What kind of change, honey?
well, Chicago's a lot different,
Right.
than the Virgin Islands. It's a lot slower here. People are nice here,
Right.
Chicago, for a big city, it's got a reputation for having decent people,
Right.
but it can also be very rough.
Yes, very rough.
So, we've kind of, seen that firsthand.
Right.
But the beautiful beaches and the beautiful people
Right.
make up for the change
Right.
that we endured, coming here to Chicago.
What about the food here? Chicago is a foodie town.
Oh, I
now,
know.
So now you come to the
know.
Virgin Islands. What kind of food?
If you're a seafood lover, you're good because there's local wahoo, there's local tuna, there's local snapper, all these fish that you like to eat. They pull it right out of the ocean and take it to the restaurants. So that's really good.
Shrimp and lobsters.
And the local food itself, which is heavy on rice and beans, and then they'll have some kind of maybe fried chicken or fried fish. That's all good, but there's not a real big variety like we had in Chicago. So actually, we just went back to Chicago.
About a month ago.
About a month ago, our daughter graduated from the Art Institute of Chicago there.
Okay.
And the first thing we did was have some really good pizza.
You got to have some pizza.
You gotta have
Chicago.
pizza
And
from
then
Chicago.
We ate all with both our stretching pants, so that we could.
So when you think about the things that you offer in the store, what are some of the items that some of the tourists like to get the most, or what do you encourage the tourists to get once they're here to take back with them?
Well, we have handmade ornaments and handmade magnets, but we also have things that are more special than that. We have like some of the woodwork over there.
Right.
It's made out of local mahogany or some other indigenous tree.
Right.
And the people that we work with who make these things out of, by hand, they are really, really special people in that they're into the woods. They're into the touch of the wood, the feel of the wood, the spirituality
Wow.
of working with the wood because it's part of the land. It's part of the VI.
So our local price point ranges from $12 for some of the oils and candles, small small ones.
Okay.
They're locally made, and that goes all the way up into the hundreds for some of the art. All of the art on the walls is local artists.
And I was looking at some of this art. It is magnificent. I mean, like, it's the attention to detail, and it's like telling the story of the island within itself.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's such a different array of styles.
Right.
You know, everybody's not doing landscape. Some people are doing, you know, slice of life. Some are doing abstracts, things of, you know, of that manner.
What is your biggest joy since being down here in the VI? I'm going to say it like I'm local now, the VI.
What would you say is being immersed in the community, working with people in the community,
The energy
things
here
like
is
that?
just really, really nice. And I swim. I'm in the water with the turtles a couple days a week.
Okay.
Once you get used to the weather here, it's like it's hot, but it's not snowy, and it's just a.
What's the coldest month here?
It's
Probably January, and
but it feels
it'll
good
get down to
78.
yeah.
Did y'all hear that? The coldest month is January. Get down to 78.
That's because
Hey.
you get the Christmas winds. You'll put on a sweater. Like once you
I don't
here
put
long
on a
enough,
sweater, but I see some of the residents. They'll put on sweatshirts and hoodies, and
cold.
you know, they're cold. You know,
But we come from a place where it snows sideways, so 78 is like paradise.
that's right.
I know we went
That's
up to
right.
Chicago when we first got there, it was 80, and then it went down into the 60s. And I remember living in Chicago, you open the windows when it's in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
I did not bring enough clothes to put on. I said, I'm not bringing my puffy coat when it's 60s. But next time I'm going to bring my puffy coat.
Man, I thank y'all for allowing the Ish family to come into your store, some things that I've seen, and the fact that you explained to me about the woodwork and how they become one with the wood. It's a spiritual thing. With them, I was looking at some handmade wooden pens. I was like, this is amazing. I mean, it was just beautiful. But I also saw some other things in here, and your wife explained where the beads came from, and she was telling me about. Can you explain that again?
Yeah, we have as much local art as possible, but we also have things from around the world. And everything in the store is what I call a win-win-win. So it's ethically sourced, it's recycled if possible, and instead of buying from big producers, we buy from small producers as much as possible. So our singing bowls and our bracelets and things are all bought from a company that's in Colorado, but the family is in Nepal, and they're Tibetan refugees who have been making these things for centuries and centuries. So I'm not going to the biggest single distributor and buying that. I buy as much as possible to support the smaller producers and the local community. So over there we have jewelry called the Starfish Project, and it saves women from sex trafficking. But what I love about it, not only does it save them and heal them, but it trains them to be computer programmers or some other job that allows them to get out of that to support their families.
Wow.
And we have another woman-owned company. They employ women. They donate heavily to women causes, and then even a fair trade bracelet that's made in India. But they donate 15% of their profits to other things like cleaning the oceans or planting trees or stuff like that. And so,
And some of the mobiles that we have up here in the ceiling,
Right.
those are handmade by an indigenous group in Colombia.
Wow.
And,
That's beautiful.
And part of the profits go back to that indigenous group.
Right.
You know, and a lot of indigenous groups in South America,
Worldwide.
you know, worldwide, but you know, in South America in particular, because these are from Colombia, you know, are having, you know, issues with encroachment into their lifestyle, and you know, the same things that go on around the world.
So Mr. Body C is generally like basically a wellness place. You can come here and for mind, body, and soul, you got something.
Absolutely.
Right. It's interesting because like just the other day, a woman came in to buy Larimar, and we had Larimar. You can buy Larimar in every store on island, right? And she said, I had to come back here and buy my Larimar because I want to carry the energy of the store with me.
Wow. Yeah, it's a definite vibe and an energy when you come in. You just feel peace. When I came in, it was very peaceful, and you can feel the energy in the store.
And I'm glad you said that.
In the VI, Mystic by the Sea, you got to come see this amazing couple. They're doing amazing things, and as you're hearing, not heard because we're not over yet, but as you're hearing, They're doing things for the indigenous people. They're giving back to women organization. There's organizations that protect women from being trafficked. That's the energy and the vibe that you feel in here. That once you come here, you feel a peace or energy that's just like you step from outside. You can feel it once you walk in. And you was about to say something about that.
No, I was just saying that. Actually, I think I forgot my thought.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. But yeah, one of the things that we try to do is we try to be inviting.
Right.
We try to, make people feel comfortable. I don't hover over people when I'm talking to them to
Right.
sell them something.
Right.
I'm explaining to them why this thing might be good for you.
Right.
I was just going to add one more thing is that the only art that's not locally made is the metal art thing.
All the way on the back wall.
All the way in the back.
Okay.
That's from Haiti. And it's oil drummets. And they cut them up and they pound them to make decorations, and then they paint them and put a clear coat on them. And that's, Haiti's a mess. And that organization, I work directly with that organization. So it goes directly to the people instead of through a third or fourth party.
That's amazing.
When you have a store, a lot of times you buy from a distributor and they take some and then.
Right.
But I try to go to the source as much as possible.
And that work is beautiful, and it's all handmade.
We're going to make sure we display some of the work that's in here for our Ish family. But I want to take this time to personally thank you for welcoming us into Mystic by the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
I had to come by, I had to say hello. This won't be my last time, and whenever I'm in the VI, I'm stopping by.
By all means, do.
This is I Got Ish Fridays, special edition from the Virgin Islands. We're going to show you some of the things in the store. But it's I Got Ish Friday. We keep talking that ish wherever we go.